holiday cash? Here's where to get it. MyBookie.ag is the place to score serious cash on your sports predictions. There are a lot of football, basketball, and hockey games. You can score big every day. Man up, play like the pros. The money line, side, or total. MyBookie.ag is your hookup for all your betting with all the lines and super fast payouts. Join now and MyBookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code CHAMPION to activate the order. Don't leave the money on the table. MyBookie.ag, promo code CHAMPION, and your first deposit is matched to up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. MyBookie.ag.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugatz podcast.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Is Mina Kimes cursing quarterbacks? Yes or no? Aaron Rodgers gone.
No.
Tyrod Taylor benched. She did big stories on both of them immediately after those stories came out. Aaron Rodgers, broken collarbone, worst injury of his career. Dan. Tyrod Taylor benched.
Dan, don't do this to
for
me.
Nathan Peterman.
Oh. That hurts more than the broken collarbone.
And we were talking during the break about the only thing that can be talked about regarding this story. What is a better quarterback name, Tyrod Taylor or Nathan Peterman? Sight unseen. You can't go Nathan over Tyrod, can you?
No.
You could go Gunnar Kiel over Tyrod. You could go Colt McCoy over Tyrod. You cannot go Nathan over Tyrod.
And the TT, we got the alliteration. Like that guy's a player. Tyrod Taylor.
He's got a nickname,
Yes.
T-Mobile, excuse me.
T-Mobile, yep, that's almost a fine. You saved yourself. Good job.
You saved yourself,
but
with the almost.
Almost, yes. But make me like a rogue scout who is roaming the earth for a quarterback, right? And I call you, and you're a head coach, okay? And I'm like, hey, I'm out on a high school field in Oklahoma.
Why are you a rogue scout?
I don't know.
I like this new industry.
Hold on.
You're an unemployed scout.
So wait a minute.
I'm trying to get my foot in the game.
Okay,
you
but
know?
wait a minute.
Like,
I don't understand. Like, you've made him a dark espionage scout roaming Oklahoma for a quarterback. He doesn't work for anybody. He's just a rogue scout.
He's a rogue scout who's trying to get in the game.
All right,
And
so
to do so, he has to impress some coaches with his ability to tell you who's a good quarterback.
All right, so he's Jason Bourne of the scouting community, basically.
Yes,
Only jobless.
Yeah.
Totally unemployed,
Right.
and in Oklahoma, and nobody's trying to kill him. Just everyone's ignoring him.
Right. Now, what's your reaction if I call you from a field in Oklahoma somewhere and you're a coach and you haven't seen this kid play and I'm saying, hey, listen, coach, I'm on this field in Oklahoma. You got to see this kid Tyrod Taylor play football. Because for me, I'm getting out there that day to watch him. But if he calls me and says, hey, I got this guy, Nathan Peterman, out on this field in Oklahoma, I'm laughing at him and I hang up the phone. I'm serious.
I got you. I mean, how about Baker Mayfield?
I'm there.
If you're called, yes,
I'm
Baker
there.
Mayfield. Are
I'm
you
there.
sure you're not taking his style and the way that he plays and he plants flags at midfield? Are you Baker? The name itself is getting you to go and scout him. Rogue scout Jason Bourne.
This rogue scout does not give you anything other than his name. He is basing his entire analysis on the name.
Wow,
Yes.
so it's really not a rogue scout at all. It's you pretending to work, not doing any of the work,
Correct.
doing scouting in the laziest way possible to explain why you're rogue and unemployed.
I mean, I might say something like, listen, Oklahoma Field, Tyrod Taylor, cannon, and that's it. I might throw in a cannon, and that's about it.
And you hang up.
I hang up, yeah.
There's something to this. This is probably why Russell Wilson fell.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's not doing anything for anybody. Domonique and I were joking about the idea of Alex Smith is exactly by name who he is as a quarterback.
Perfect.
Alex Smith might be okay, might be bad. Some games, not gonna. It's just Alex Smith.
You send an assistant out to see Alex Smith.
Oh, you're not sending any
You
of
don't
the big
waste your
guns?
own time. No, Colt McCoy, though. You
Colt
go yourself.
McCoy, you got to get out there. Gunnar Kiel for sure.
Who's this Andy Dalton? No, not worth my time. Pass. Hard pass.
I mean, Andy Dalton, he could be a preferred walk-on, but I'm not sending a Scully out for some kid named Andy Dalton.
How about Tom Savage?
Oh,
I'm
two
there.
scholarships.
I am there.
Two scholarships.
Tom Savage.
He doesn't need two
Oh,
scholarships.
well, he can have double the books,
And a suitcase of cash.
double the meal money.
Yep.
Oh, 2 rooms. Tom Savage?
You're going to make Tom Savage
Tom
fat.
Savage.
You're going to double
Oh,
the
well,
meals.
he needs it because he is.
Savage.
What about Marcus Mariota? I think a hack to this whole game is having the same initial for your first and last
No,
name.
I don't think Marcus Mariota works, does it?
The alliteration does, when it rolls off the tongue, it makes it feel a little bit better. But, I mean, Marcus Mariota is not gun or kill, and there's no alliteration there.
Well, who is the alliteration that fails, according to this test? Who is the quarterback with the first and last name, and just because it's alliteration? I'm not with you guys on Marcus Mariota. I'm passing. If I get Rogue Scout
I'm
calls
kind of
me...
bored there, yeah. Yeah, I got this kid Marcus Mariota. Kind of bored there.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I got a Joe Flacco.
Now, if I call you with Phillip Rivers.
Whoa! Wait!
How about Jameis?
Absolutely.
I got a Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I'm there.
Cam Newton? I got a Cam Newton?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm there.
Aren't too many Cams. I'll take a look.
Do you go for Brock Osweiler?
Cool first name.
Yeah, great
Maybe,
first
no,
name.
Yeah, the last name hurts him. It really destroys Roethlisberger, too.
Yeah.
Like Ben Roethlisberger, nobody's sending any scouts out to see Roethlisberger. That guy can't play.
Yeah, I mean, unless he's playing tackle. Like, Roethlisberger is
That's right.
Roethlisberger's a kick-sliding name.
He's a lead guard. He's a pull. You got to see this big fat guy here I found near the haystacks, Ben Roethlisberger.
Hey, we could run power for days behind this Roethlisberger kid.
This is why Tom Brady was taken in the 6th round.
Yeah.
This is why Spurgeon Wynn was taken ahead of Tom Brady.
And it's why Blake Bortles was taken so high. Because I'm sprinting to Blake Bortles.
You are?
Oh, absolutely.
That's that alliteration again.
Yeah.
How about Josh McCown? A little undercurrent of mystery. McCown feels like he was doing some work in the outdoors. McCown we found him in the shrub.
I like building the story around it, too.
But I
Josh McCown.
But I have the history of Cade McNown, and that was a great name and didn't work out. So too close. So I'm burned by the names already.
All right, so Nathan Peterman is now the Bills' starting quarterback, and the important parts of this that we're not discussing are that, a couple of teams could have used Tyrod Taylor a couple of games ago.
Yep.
There are a couple of teams out there. The bench Tyrod Taylor would save a season right now for Green Bay, for Houston, for Jacksonville season's okay, but give Blake Bortles time.
Right. They'd be better, obviously, with Tyrod Taylor.
How many teams are looking at them angrily right now? Like, you have this quarterback and you treat him like that. Like how the rest of the countries look at America. Like, you have all this money and you take it for granted. Like, most of the league is looking at Buffalo like, don't treat that guy like that.
What are you guys doing? Arizona could probably use Tyrod Taylor.
A couple of weeks ago, the Broncos probably would have traded for Tyrod Taylor.
The Broncos would have been perfect for Tyrod Taylor. And so now he's benched, and what do the Bills know? And you don't trust the Bills to know anything. He had 50 passing yards, Tyrod Taylor did on Sunday, because he's playing in the wrong system for Tyrod Taylor. They are trying to force him into a system that is not suited to his skill sets. And the Saints just made him pass from the pocket on Sunday, and just that. And he could do that. He's done that. He just didn't do it Sunday. And now he's benched, and Mina Kimes, ESPN, the magazine.
No, I'm with you on this. I think quarterbacks are going to stop taking her calls.
Rising star in the industry.
You don't know Mina like I know Mina. Please stop it.
Let me ask you
now.
this. If you're a quarterback and you get a call from Mina Kimes, are you picking up the phone right now?
Oh, no.
Domonique, are you picking up the phone?
Mina's not superstitious.
Absolutely.
Mina's not superstitious.
I will pick it up because I know Mina is an upstanding quality journalist that does a great job writing pieces.
All right, let's do this. Guillermo, put this on the poll. Are Ivy League educated people superstitious? Yes or no? What do you think is a generalization? Because I think that, generally speaking, Ivy League educated people aren't going to believe very much in the abstracts, in the idea that bad luck can exist, that if Mina Kimes is writing a story, that quarterback's going to get injured.
Again, you don't know Mina like I know Mina.
Wait, but
Mina's superstitious. I can guarantee you.
Well, it's not about her. It's about the quarterbacks. Like, athletes are superstitious, I believe. And so they might say, hey, the last time you did a piece on a quarterback, that quarterback got hurt. Then you did another one, and that quarterback got benched.
I did not accuse Mina Kimes of cursing quarterbacks. I asked the question. I simply asked the question.
I will not allow this loophole.
I simply asked the question, is she cursing quarterbacks? And I've stated facts. After 2 articles that she wrote, the quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers suffered the worst injury of his career, and Tyrod Taylor is now engulfed in national benching shame.
I wish you'd do a piece on the Jets quarterbacks.
Does she want to be a part of the show or not?
I will not allow you to squeeze your body through this loophole of I'm just asking.
I'm just asking. I don't know that they're. I need to see like 1 or 2 more.
A lot of people are saying.
Hashtag just say it. Hashtag just saying. Put that on the poll, Guillermo. Hashtag just saying. Hashtag Mina Kimes.
Dan le Batard.
Harden got selfish and decided he wanted to go to Houston and be the guy. And I told you when he went there, he's never going to win a championship. He was more concerned, James Harden, about being the best player on a decent team than he was on being the third best player on a legendary team.
Stugats.
Hey, James Harden. And the beard's enough already. Who is he with a beard? Hey, he's trying to be different. I get James Harden. The beard. It's seriously the beard. When I think of James Harden, I won't think of anything other. I won't think of championships. I won't think of winning. I won't think of one of the all-time greats. I'll only think of his ridiculous beard. It's Harden. Him and his beard should be ashamed of themselves.
This is the Dan le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
If you are not familiar with Domonique Foxworth, you could catch him all over ESPN. You could catch him on The Undefeated doing skits, doing writing. He is former head of the NFL Players Union, former COO of the NBA Players Union. He played cornerback for the Denver Broncos and Ravens and Falcons. Is that it? Do I have everybody?
Yep.
He was a prostitute. He was a street walking. No?
I didn't walk the streets. It was in a brothel. And B, I thought we said we wouldn't talk about this.
Okay. You would cover receivers for cash left on the nightstand. Anyway, here are some Tyrod Taylor stats.
By the way, Rogue Scout calls me and I'm a coach, and he says he's out in the field and he's watching this kid, Domonique Foxworth. I am there so quickly, man. Are you kidding me?
Who is it? Well, you guys, who was this? What were you guys doing with Lavello during the break? What were you guys doing with, was it Torey Lavello? Is that the name?
Yeah, he's the manager of the year for the Diamondbacks.
Okay, so you guys made him Leroy Lavello and made him a running back that you were willing to scout. Leroy Lavello.
But Torey Lavello is a slot receiver that we'd definitely give a scally to Torey Lavello.
Okay.
Right.
So here are some Tyrod Taylor stats. Incidentally, I don't know. Let's do stat of the day. All right.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the
Mike Ryan said that the streaker, you saw the happy streaker that looked like Charlie Whitehurst on the field, the Saints-Bills this week, and the streaker had more rushing yards than the Buffalo Bills did on Sunday. And here's some bonus Tyrod Taylor stats sent by Cortez, our researcher. The list of quarterbacks this season, you ready?
Yep.
With 10-plus touchdowns and 3 or fewer interceptions. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Alex Smith, Tyrod Taylor. That's the list. The lowest Pro Football Focus game grade Tyrod Taylor has had in a game this season is 55.86. Quarterbacks had a lower game grade this past week than Tyrod Taylor has had all season. And then since 2005, Tyrod Taylor is one of 3 quarterbacks with 45-plus passing TDs and 10-plus rushing TDs. Cam and Cousins are the other 2, and then Tyrod Taylor has an interception percentage of 1.54 for his career. It is the lowest in NFL history among quarterbacks with 1,000-plus attempts. The lowest in history. He does not turn the ball over, but they had 50 passing yards on Sunday. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do anything offensively. They got smoked by New Orleans.
He's going to make another team so happy.
Discarded lover, second chance rebound lover, like Tyrod Taylor is going to make. His next relationship is going to be the one where he finds love.
Yep. Stat of the day is brought to you by KFC. For a holiday present to yourself, get yourself a $5 fill-up from KFC. You'll know what's in the box, but you'll still be overjoyed. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The Bills do not love Tyrod Taylor. They're in an abusive relationship with Tyrod Taylor, and they think they can fix it by bringing home, after one of the disagreements, a Kelvin Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
That don't work.
Nope.
Like you got to be more loyal over the years. You can't just one night bring home a special Kelvin Benjamin.
I mean, especially after you sent away Sammy Watkins.
Yes.
You can't replace a Sammy Watkins with a Kelvin Benjamin.
They sent someone else away as well.
Did you see the weekend that the
Gilmore.
former Bills receivers had? Marcus Goodwin, Robert Woods, Sammy Watkins, all of which scored touchdowns, I believe.
There's not a Gilmore in there? Do I owe a fine?
Stephen Gilmore is a cornerback that was traded to the Patriots. I was trying to protect you.
But he's a Bill, though, right?
He's a former Bill.
Okay, well, then I'm okay there. I'm all right there.
Wait, but you got the position wrong.
No. It all matters. Tyrod was fighting an uphill battle because that defense was terrible against the Saints also, so it matters.
There are a lot of teams in the league doing things with former Bills that the Bills didn't do with the Bills. That is the Bills. The Bills have skated only because the Browns exist on managerial incompetence. The Browns have made the playoffs more recently than the Bills have. Butch Davis. Do you know how long ago that was? Made the playoffs with the Browns. That was 150 years ago. And the Bills, when's the last time they made the playoffs? Is Jim Kelly the last time the Bills?
No. Rob Johnson.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
the Wade Phillips. I'm gonna bench Doug Flutie for Rob Johnson. Play Rob Johnson in a playoff game. Get my head caved in and end both my career and Rod Johnson.
Well, they didn't get their head caved in. They got their hearts stomped out by the Music City Miracle. That was the last playoff game they were in.
Ouch. I actually don't think the Bills have been totally incompetent in the front office. Like, you can see that they've had talented players. Like,
we just trade them away.
Yeah, we just talked about how good their players have been elsewhere, and we had good guys on defense. Just haven't been able to put it together with their coaching staff.
Do you question Tyrod at all that Robert, like Jared Goff, the sign that he's really good is Robert Woods is suddenly very good, and he wasn't that good with Tyrod Taylor.
I don't know what the Bills know here that we don't about Nathan Peterman. I do know that the skill set that Tyrod Taylor has would be maximized by Andy Reid and has not been maximized by the Bills, because I do believe if Tyrod Taylor played for the Kansas City Chiefs, they would look exactly like they look now because he is Alex Smith.
They'd be better. He throws a better deep ball than Alex Smith. I mean, that's an important thing, and the intermediate routes are not something they do consistently. And, I mean, you know how I feel about Andy Reid. I wish more coaches were like him. He's the innovator who creates stuff for the players that he has, not the players that he wishes he has.
Dan Batard.
They've been around since 1896.
Oh, get out your wallet.
That's why I was getting the money ready.
Stugats.
I don't think Stugat should be fined for that.
Great, money back in the pocket.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Mike Ryan has reached out to Mina Kimes for comment. He has comment. We'll get to that in a second.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. The Dan Le Batard Show is brought to you by Pennzoil Synthetics, taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. Here's your SportsCenter update. College football playoff rankings released last night. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Clemson. They should be number 4. Number 3, Miami. And number 4, Oklahoma. On the outside looking in at number 5 and number 6, respectively, is Wisconsin and Auburn. Torey Lovello.
Kirby Holcutt is a rat fink.
Yep, that too. Torey Lovello. He's the manager of the Diamondbacks. I just found that out this morning. He won the National League Manager of the Year award. And Paul Molitor won it in the American League. And finally, People Magazine has announced that Blake Shelton is 2017's sexiest man alive. That's an upset. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Donald Trump has tweeted, do you think the UCLA players will say thank you to President Trump? I kept them from 10 years in jail, and he's totally right. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, he stepped in there, and he absolutely helped them, and it was an upset. Like, the whole thing was an upset.
Right.
I mean, he helped shoplifting basketball players. I did not have that one in the office pool.
If the players thanked the president, though, would you consider that to be an upset?
No, they need to thank the president, but now we're in a difficult situation where LeVar Ball might not be willing to thank the president, but I'm here for whatever emerges from this.
Yeah, I mean, who cares about all these other machinations? The only thing that matters is the collision course that is obvious now between LeVar Ball
but I
and
do
President
think Trump, man, those guys were going to be in some. You cannot shoplift in that country. Like, I feel like China is within this realm of not very far away from the places where they'll just cut off your hands if you steal. I'm not even kidding. Like, there's still countries that handle things that way. And I feel like China is in that realm if they are not quite there, and Donald Trump helped them.
That would be a career ender.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It would be hard to play basketball without hands.
Correct.
You'd forever be reminded that it was a career ender, too. Every day you'd wake up and you'd look at your nubs and you'd be like, yep, this ended my career, stealing those sunglasses.
If anyone could do it, it's Angelo. Still the best.
Undefeated, never lost.
One-handed.
You know what I'm going to make my player? I'm going to make my son the best no-handed basketball player in the history of China.
No hands now.
The first slam dunk with a nub.
What you got, Marbury?
Voluntarily. Cut off the other hand.
I sell gloves. Big baller brand. No hand nub gloves. Undefeated, never lost.
You got like a weird, I think Mike's his impersonation
yours
is pretty good. Yours just morphed into something really, really strange.
No, I thought mine was good. What happened? Let's
it
examine
started
this.
off good, but it morphed into something
Let's
bad.
examine.
I didn't want to do it, but I heard it the first time you did it. I was like, oh, I don't.
What happened?
Oh.
What happened? No! Oh, no! I'm foiled by my own design! No! I was a white guy doing a black voice?
Yeah.
No! Why was Mike doing it better than me? I don't understand the nuances of this.
I don't either, but Mike sounded like LeVar Balls, and yours sounded like generic Mr. T.
Yeah.
This is
Generic Mr. T is perfect.
Did Dan's LeVar, I'm going to put it on the poll. Did Dan's LeVar Ball impersonation instead become a racist, generic Mr. T impersonation?
I'm going to get those hands, fool.
Is that what it was? Wow, everyone's in agreement that I made it something else. Okay.
You appear to be sweating bullets now, too.
Oh, but it's only because I'm delighted. I assure you that I am nothing other than delighted with this entire conversation.
I think my first appearance on the show was me calling you out for some of the punishments that you had Roy doing, and so I am conscious of that. So when I heard that voice, I was like, nah, I can't call Dan out on that one.
I'll tell you what I feel like. I feel like Kerry Collins emerging from the jail with a cigar after using the N-word with teammates who thought he was too comfortable and then never forgave him for it. I'm going to walk out of the studio right now smoking a cigar. All right, if that's how it ends. I thought I was in a safe space with undefeated, never lost.
No.
I think what you needed to do is to then follow that with a compliment about Russell Wilson. Because that's how you cover your tracks. Is when you say something like that, you then say, but Russell Wilson is a great pocket passer.
Stay in your lane.
Is his better?
Oh, so much better.
Why is his better? I don't understand. I'm looking in a mirror.
Well done, Mike. Well done.
So good. Well done.
I mean, spot on.
Sir. All right, you try now, Dan.
I'm afraid to. I don't know where the lines are anymore. I can't do it because I've lost all confidence. That was me at my most confident. And I took liberties I should not have taken. But that's why you're here for the LeVar Ball Donald Trump fight, because all sorts of that is going to happen on the periphery of that skirmish.
Is there anything more perfect for 2017 if we can end for the entire month of December, just LeVar Ball versus Donald Trump? It's just going to be gold.
But can you separate these things? Because I feel like I can. I can separate whether I like someone or don't like someone, or whether I think they're doing a good job or not doing a good job, from if they did a good job in that instance. Wherever it is, like Terrell Owens. If you don't like all the things Terrell Owens is, I don't separate his behavior from his excellence. I do separate his behavior from his excellence, I should say. His excellence should stand alone.
Well, can you separate all the things you disagree with, all the bad things that you think he's done?
Yes.
And notice the good thing that he did here?
He did. I don't know how there's any disputing that him getting those kids out of trouble, that he helped lubricate that path. Those kids were looking at something really bad in China if he doesn't get involved.
No, they were. I think what people are going to say is you're asking for applause here for doing your job. You're asking the kids to thank you for doing what is your job.
He is. I don't see how you can look at this. He's taking credit for it, and he should. That's his way. His way.
Right.
He can't do this quietly and just allow the credit to pour in. He's also right, though.
I mean, he gave him a few hours.
Well, but this is something else that he's also right about. Him getting involved in that was undercovered. It was undercovered because we didn't talk about it. And him getting involved from the beginning is, come on. That one's got to be surprising to you. Why was he involved in that? Like you say, doing his job. I don't feel like he's ever felt like that's doing his job. Do you? Because I don't feel like that's the president's job to get those players out of that trouble when they've done a wrong.
It worked out because he was there, too. He was touring Asia at the time. I don't know if it was the right time, right place for him, or if he would have picked up a phone.
But a president, there are diplomats well below him that handle things like that.
I mean, I could separate it. I don't agree with just about anything he says or does, but I do give him credit for doing this. I'm not certain, I'm in the majority on that.
I don't think it has to be begrudging credit. I think it could just be credit. He did a good thing for American citizens who were in the wrong.
Yep.
Do you remember, was it...
I'm not even sure they deserved it, to be honest with you. Excuse me, Dominique.
No, you're fine.
I'm not sure, given what they did, that they deserved intervention from the President of the United States.
I was just thinking about past precedent, and I think it was Michael Fay, the American in Singapore, who got in trouble for vandalism and theft and was under threat of caning. I don't remember, I could be wrong, but I don't remember the president getting involved at that point. But
I don't really understand what advice he was getting, but he can throw this one out and he can wave it around next time people say, hey, your anthem stuff is it's racism. Your anthem stuff is cloaked. It's the flag cloaking racism. He could say, what are you talking about? I helped those black kids in China who were shoplifting. They were in the wrong, and I helped them.
Right. So, but then people would say, okay, so he had an agenda there. There's a reason that he did it. But most presidents, most politicians have some sort of agenda.
Okay, but what is the agenda here, though? Because this is not his...
He can throw that around, yes.
But LeVar Ball is not his constituency. Like, what's the agenda other than doing a good thing? And being able to take credit for it. Maybe you knew he was going to take credit for it, whether he deserved the credit or not. You knew he was going to take the credit for it, whether you were willing to give it or not. But he's right on this one.
Dan Batard.
I mean, just an asinine thing that Disney pays us for. Just asinine.
Thank you.
Stugats.
It's a clerical error, man. This is arriving at an accountant's desk in Disney, and wait a minute. How much is this costing us? Why?
More, please.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Help me out on something. These guys here can vouch for it. I tell you all the time that we do not talk politics around here. I'm not interested in politics. I'm so not interested in politics that when they told me that Joe Scarborough was coming on, I actually thought that was a Fox News person. And then they just told me 10 minutes ago that that's MSNBC, and we're going to get accused of all that liberal narrative nonsense. And I thought we were going the other route on that because I don't know this person's work in any way.
Joe or at least he was a Republican. I think he's independent now, but he's a right-leaning person, so I think even people...
Okay, all right. So he's not someone who's going to be offensive to people, or that's going to make everyone yell and scream about, you guys are talking politics again.
There are going to be people out there that just hear MSNBC. And I will say, of note, we've been trying to get Shepard Smith from Fox News for a very long time, and it just hasn't worked out with any of our Fox News requests.
I just want to talk about his hair.
All right, but is Scarborough considered someone who gets to be in the middle? He's not someone who's considered...
they've turned on him. I watched the show, and the right has turned on him or some people in the right have turned on him because he left the Republican Party. He considers himself a conservative, and he's been, hypercritical of Donald Trump. So I'm sure, the far-right people don't love him.
All right, I didn't know any of that, so just let it be known that we're having this person on because we like to have interesting people talking about interesting things. I swear to you, and you don't have to believe me on this, I was not aware of anything other. I thought we were going the other way on this because of all the accusations that have been made, and I don't have much to do with the guest list, period. I just come in here and do the show, and they tell me who's on.
I'm going to do the thing where I mention all the conservative analysts that we've had on the show in the show's history.
This is uncomfortable. It's like you guys trying to convince the audience that you're fair and balanced. But
it's not even.
Since when do we care? It's not
that we're fair and balanced. Is that we do avoid generally politics. Guillermo, what are you guys laughing about back there? What's so funny?
Allison's head's going to explode when you said that you have nothing to do with the guest list. She seems to not agree with that.
All right, Allison, come on here and defend yourself. Go ahead.
Come on. I mean, you definitely do. If you don't want, it's very clear that.
But what kind of? Give me the list of the last 5 people that I don't want. Give me the list. What is that list look like?
I mean, everybody. I mean, and then it's also difficult because you know, the way you interview sometimes, you know, can ruin things.
And the way I talk about the interviews beforehand can also ruin things.
And afterwards.
Like I'm doing now.
Allison and I had a very long discussion after the Larry Olmsted interview yesterday, which she was very upset with, and I was thrilled with. I thought it went
really?
great.
See, these are the things they keep away from me. I thought that interview with that fake food guy, I was trying to dress it up because we'd done so much nonsense over the course of the show that I wanted to throw a sprinkle of sports in there, so we just had Stugatz gas bagging.
I tried explaining that to her, Dan. She didn't want to hear it. She was very upset with how it went.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Well, was the guest upset, or?
The guest was kind of upset afterwards when he heard a rejoin where there was where the rejoin mentioned a writer didn't know what he was talking about. He took it personally.
That's my boy. Oh, get out of here.
No, see, Allison's dealing with all sorts of stuff with guest sensitivities all the time, and I guess I shouldn't say that I don't have anything to do with the guests because they do come to me over the course of weeks in advance and say, would you like this person or would you not like this person? But I don't think that decision is ever made on politics. Is it ever?
I did come to you with Joe Scarborough because he was booked a couple weeks ago and we had to reschedule, and it was a yes back then. So it was a yes.
And we're talking with Joe. We're talking music because he has an album out.
Okay, we're talking music.
Yeah.
All right, very good. He's got
and hair. Yeah.
Hold on. The album may or may not have Donald Trump on it, pictured as the Grinch.
But he has other
music. For the love of God. For the love of God.
You're the one that cracked that door open.
I mean, why'd you just run away from the microphone? It's got Donald Trump on the cover as a Grinch.
It's just music.
He's still a musician.
Okay.
The name is spelled Drumpf on the cover. Also.
Oh, for the love of God. I didn't know any of that. I mean, what are we doing?
Want to cancel? Or?
No, we can't. Now Allison's all spinning. Oh, for the love of God, I'm going to have to deal with this for the next 38 hours.
Joe Scarborough is also engaged to Mika, the person that Trump said was bleeding profusely from the face.
Oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, Mika Brzezinski, his co-host.
He's got great hair. Have you seen his hair?
His hair is
so good.
His hair is hotly contested back here in the shipping container because we think it's great hair. Allison says it's all over the place. I'd kill for that volume.
So would I. I like the all over the place look. I do. Like, he's definitely in my top 5 in terms of hair. Reese Davis is number 1. I mean, that's forever. But Joe Scarborough is right there.
Is there anyone at ESPN who looks more like a Disney prince than Reese Davis? Yes or no? Anyone at ESPN?
No.
Is there anyone at ESPN?
No. Our favorite hair at ESPN is Ryan Clark, though.
Yeah.
Dude's
That's not-
working.
Yeah.
I was going to go. I mean, Joe's hair is okay, but there's no curls in it. Like, you got to give me a curl. Something.
Oh, it's got curls. It's got Joe's hair's got bounce.
I need tighter curls.
Okay.
I do believe that Domonique was prepping for a long time there as we celebrated his hair to go culturally specific on this. Because he wants you to play that music again, that the hair assessments we were making were clearly this.
I mean, you don't got no designs in it, nothing. There's no fade. I mean, give me something.
I did mention Ryan Clark.
Yeah, Ryan Clark has the best hair on earth. On earth.
You guys are just doing the Russell Wilson thing now. That's all you're doing.
No, we talk about
doing
it
the
all
Russell
the time.
I did that before you hit white guys.
Who has control of that button? Because sometimes the shipping container needs to get hit with that white guy.
Hold on a second, Mike. Go ahead. And who was it that photoshopped J-Lo's butt on Vanity Fair?